Hello and welcome to this session on prehistoric Britain. At the end of this module, you will be able to identify the various stages in the development of prehistoric Britain. Prehistory is a time or era before written records were kept. Prehistoric Britain was a period in the human occupation of Great Britain that ended with the Roman invasion of Britain in 43 AD. There was a time in the childhood of planet Earth when the British Isles was part of northwestern Europe. However, geological upheavals within the bowels of Earth caused this bit of land to break away from the rest of Europe, and thus she became the precious stone set in the Silver Sea, as described by Shakespeare in his play Richard II. Historians divided prehistoric Britain into two main ages, the Stone Age and the Metal Age. The Stone Age was a period during which the stone was the most widely used material for making tools and weapons. Based on the type of tools used, the Stone Age can be divided into three periods. Number 1, the Paleolithic or the Old Stone Age. Number 2, Mesolithic or the Middle Stone Age. And number 3, Neolithic or the New Stone Age. Paleolithic age was the longest part of the Stone Age. The inhabitants of the region at this time were bands of hunter-gatherers who wandered from place to place in search of food. They used stone in its natural state as tools and weapons. Mesolithic people occupied Britain by around 11,000 BC to 5,500 BC. During this period, the climate of the world was getting warmer, which led to an increase in the variety of plants and animals. Mesolithic people learned to hunt in groups and to fish. They cut and polished stones for more efficient tools and weapons. Most of them lived in rock shelters and caves. They also learned to domesticate plants and animals. By around 3000 BC, the thick vegetation had torn down a great deal. Thus, the Neolithic age, or the last period of the Stone Age, introduced a more settled way of life. It was a period of domestication of plants and animals. Man turned from a food gatherer to a food producer. The Stone Age was followed by the Metal Ages, when the human beings started to make objects out of metal. The Metal Age is classified into 1. The Bronze Age, and number 2. The Iron Age. The Bronze Age is supposed to have begun by 2000 BC. Around this time, a new race of people appeared in Britain. They were short, black-haired, dark-skinned, dark-eyed race with oval face and narrow skull. They were called the Iberians because they came through the Iberian Peninsula from their home in Africa. The engineering skill of the Iberians is manifested in the Stonehenge monument situated about 20 miles from the Salisbury Plain. This monument is supposed to have been a temple of sun worshippers and is evidence of the religious skill of the Iberians. The first group of Celtic invaders belonged to the Gaelic or the Goidelic tribes. They occupied the land for about 3 centuries. The second wave of the Celtic invaders were the Britons, who, unlike their predecessors, came in large numbers and in successive batches. With the passage of time, the Britons came to be called Britons and their land Britain. The last of the Celtic invaders who came to Britain were the tribe of Belgae, who occupied the land from 100 BC, and it was they who occupied Britain when the Romans arrived in 55 BC. Hope you have understood the various stages in the development of prehistoric Britain. Thank you.